Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. Now let's get into today's video. G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossing the Line. We're going to take a look at this story here. Mr. Beast has done it again. He's back in the news. He's getting thrashed online and attacked for doing a heinous crime and profiteering off of it. Now, Mr. Beast, if you don't know who he is, he's probably the biggest YouTuber pretty much ever. He's a massive philanthropist. He goes around and creates content around YouTube and basically does it by gifting people larger sums of money, donating things to charitable organisations, running sort of game shows on his YouTube channel. If you haven't heard of him, go and check him out there on YouTube, and he's pretty much everywhere. He's been on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's been on many other podcasts getting around, and he is quite famous, and he's quite a nice guy by all counts. So his heinous crime this time has come to surface over his latest video. His videos are pretty big budget, so they get it takes him a little while now to bring out each video. This one, his latest one, he's done the heinous crime of giving 20,000 shoes to African kids without any shoes. So wrap your head around that one. I don't know about you, but I can't see anything wrong with that. But, the sad little communist tards on Twitter are complaining. So everyone needs to apparently listen to them and cancel Mr. Beast. People like Hassan Piker and the Surfs have already attacked him on Twitter. But Mr. Beast will keep doing his thing. He'll keep going and keep creating content and helping people, hopefully, anyway. Because how many times has he been attacked for doing the right thing? I don't know. His last video where he was attacked, he cured the blindness of 1,000 people or something. What's wrong with that? I mean, you go around curing blindness in people that can be cured, and you're getting attacked for it because apparently that's a bad thing to do now. Maybe you should just make a video going around and blinding people with acid or something. I mean, maybe they won't get upset about him, get upset with him about that. But we'll take a look at this story here from robreport.com, lifestyle news article. This popular YouTuber gave shoes to 20,000 South African kids, and the internet can't decide how it feels. The internet, no one cares how the internet feels. Like us in the real world, it doesn't affect us, unless you're online all day scrolling through Twitter, the doom scroll and TikTok and all that, which can be pretty goddamn bad for your mental health. No one cares. So a few people who are outraged on Twitter gets blown up into things like now I'm reporting on it, but like all these newspapers have reported on it. There's a billion YouTube channels that have reported on the same thing, and it just kind of throws it out into this big thing where it was just some blue-haired libtard on TikTok or Twitter that was upset about it, and it didn't really mean anything. But now a few people have raised an alarm, and now it's getting all this media attention. So we'll get into the story here. Mr. Beast, aka Jimmy Donaldson, may have just learned that no good deed goes unpunished. The minted American YouTuber, who is known for his elaborate stunts and insane giveaways, has copped some backlash of his latest video, which he donates 20,000 shoes to children in South Africa. For hundreds of thousands of kids in South Africa, the only thing standing between them and an education is a simple pair of shoes, the YouTuber said in a video. He added that the children had to walk barefoot for miles over harsh terrain, broken glass and contaminated water to get to school. To help, the social media star and his team flew to Johannesburg and met with a charity called Barefoot No More. A non-profit produces footwear from innovative materials that increase durability and comfort. The influencer then flew to Cape Town with 20,000 pairs of kicks and handed them out to students most desperate for help. This is not Donaldson's first philanthropic endeavor. In fact, he launched Beast Philanthropy in October 2020 to leverage his power of social media platform for good, and now partners with various charities to tackle big and small social issues. The YouTuber previously helped 1,000 people see for the first time by paying for cataract surgery, for instance. Not everyone is a fan, though. Some Twitter users say Donaldson is doing these things primarily for views and clout. So if you're unaware how YouTube works, the more views you get, when you've got over a certain amount of subscribers and video hours watched, the more money you make from ad revenue. People even just, you can donate and all sorts of things. More eyes on it, the more money you make. So this is his business plan. He makes a video that will generate a lot of views and clicks and likes and shares and subscriptions, so he can use the money gained from that video to fund the next video. Just about every cent he spends, or he makes, on the video he's done previously is spent on the next video or other videos. So that's his business model. That's how he donates, and that's how he becomes a philanthropist. That's how he helps people, is by creating money, making money for his channel and his foundations and whatever else he's got going, and then using that money to make another video, to make more money, to make another video, to make more money, to make another video, so we can keep helping people and creating content and going along those lines. Like this dude, if he didn't go down the YouTube path and become a content creator like that, I'm sure he would have been, by now, a billionaire in his own right, and he's made probably billions of dollars that he just gives away to people and helps people. Yes, he uses it in his own endeavors to make more content, but that content is used to help people. What is wrong with that? It's like if he came out and cured cancer, people would be upset about it. He made a video on curing cancer. How dare he? Well, that's what he needs to do to make the money to make another video to help people. Do they not wrap their little communists? What are they, all communists? They can't all be communists. They're just going to be stupid at some point. I mean, if you're upset that someone is giving away money, I doubt you'd be upset if they were giving that money away to you. Are you going to do any better with it? No. So Jimmy obviously loves helping people and loves creating content and doing these things. This is what he does 24/7. He doesn't take breaks. He doesn't stop. You can go and watch his whole podcast with Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan Experience on Spotify, where he gets down into the nitty-gritty about how he does what he does and why he does it. And it's pretty amazing, just his drive. And he's not the healthiest of people. He has some health issues that he struggles with daily. And he still goes out of his way and spends probably 20 hours a day creating content to help people. It's not just for his fun and his own gain. Like, he doesn't take a cent from it. Like, he will use his money for every other video he can make. I'm sure he's quite happy where he lives. He's got a nice house and all those kind of things. But going around and giving people cars, giving people 10 grand cash, giving people, houses even. He's giving people houses and islands, private planes. People have won private planes, got private planes. Going around and giving those things to people that are in need of something is, even then he goes into say that, like, if they don't want the private island, which obviously what are you going to do with a private island if you're probably earning $15,000 a year? Probably not much. You won't be able to afford to get there, let alone keep up payments on whatever state tax you're going to have to pay and stuff like that. So they can sell that back to him and he'll just give them cash. He's not like vindictive like the internet and Twitter seem to make out. It's like they try to make out that Elon Musk is an evil person who hates people and does all these terrible things, but I'm yet to see anything terrible that person he's ever done, really. And I don't know what it is. It's just sad people on the internet complaining like me, but they're just on the other side of the spectrum where they're, instead of being smart and sexy and good looking like I am, they're just stupid and ugly and boring. I don't know. What do you guys think anyway? We'll keep reading into the story here. We'll finish it off and see where he goes. Not really a charity. Still others criticise his poorly executed charity and failure to see the bigger picture. Band-aid solutions such as this often attract criticism as major structural issues, such as poverty, disease and hunger, can never be solved by a mere act of kindness. We need bigger changes to the system for that. Giving is still giving, though. Mr. Beast has reportedly used paid partnerships to fund his philanthropy. According to Beast Philanthropy, the YouTuber received his first sponsorship deal of $10,000 in June 2017. Gave away all that money. He appears to have established a cycle in which sharing a video about a good deed generates money for another good deed. One Twitter user described in an infinite money glitch. It's, yeah, true. Philanthropy pays for more philanthropy. One thing certain, the millionaire is spotlighting big issues. His latest video has 1.2 million views as of writing, and Mr. Beast, hashtag Mr. Beast, is now trending on Twitter. And it's not just hashtag Mr. Beast is trending on Twitter, it's hashtag cancel Mr. Beast, things like that as well. People are going out of their way to try to stop what he is doing. It's almost like there's a giant conspiracy, like a global conspiracy, you could say, that is getting around trying to stop anyone from doing any global good to help anyone. Like if, say, a certain philanthropist goes out and donates a whole bunch of money to give people shoes or cure blindness, they're attacked. If someone says something that might help people or try to guide people in the correct direction, they get attacked, sometimes even locked up in a prison, like a Romanian prison, for instance. If you're outspoken, if you seem to be doing any sort of good, the trolls on Twitter that still exist somehow, even after Elon took over, they still come after you. I mean, if this guy's got his millions of dollars under his belt, he's got obviously hundreds of millions of fans, and he's getting attacked on it. How long can he keep that up when people just keep attacking him for everything he does? I mean, short of him going around and actually blinding 1,000 people or stealing 20,000 shoes off of poor African children, he'd probably get less hate for doing those things than he has done for helping those people. I don't know, but the internet's a pretty dark, disturbing and sad place at the moment. And I just hope Jimmy, Mr. Beast, keeps doing his thing, keeps going the way he's going and creating content that people can enjoy, and it'll pay for more content and help more people. He also does things like food charities where he gives out free food. I think it was like a couple of thousand turkeys last Thanksgiving he gave away throughout the United States, and people still attack him for it. It's insane. But is that just the internet, or do you guys think that this is a coordinated attack against people who are doing the right thing, like him and like other people around? Anytime they do the right thing, they get attacked. What do you guys think anyway? So Jane Fonda suggests murder in response to the overturning of Roe v. Wade on The View. Now, we all know The View. It's a bunch of dry old women with nothing better to do than squawk about crap that they know nothing about. And Jane Fonda coming on there and saying something stupid like this is just the ongoing trend of that show. I mean, we've got Whoopi Goldberg on there who, it breaks my heart, because I loved her in Star Trek Next Gen as Guinan, but it breaks my heart to see how far she's fallen and how loopy she has gone, just being in that room with those squawking, dry, old, wrinkly nutsacks of women. And it must rub off, because the only thing that's not rubbing off on these women is blokes, because they're just disgusting old bags that just, I don't know how they're still alive. They're mummified. What are they taking? How much Botox is in that room? I'll never get those images of those bloody turkey-necked old hags out of my head. Now, we'll take a look at this story from Timcast News. Jane Fonda suggests murder in response to the overturning of the Roe v. Wade during The View. Co-host Joy Behar repeatedly insisted the actress was just kidding. Now, I love a good joke. Saying that, it's funny. It could be funny. I don't think this was really a joke. It was just more of a statement from her. But I don't care about jokes. Jokes do not hurt anyone. People getting up in arms about a left person making a joke is too far. It goes too far. And people getting up in arms about a right-wing person making a joke, it happens all the time. I mean, you can't turn on a Netflix special without having a whole bunch of blue-haired, overweight people complaining about one of the comedians' jokes on their new special. I mean, put it down to Joe Rogan, Chris Rock, you name it, anyone who's funny will have a whole bunch of people on Twitter and the internet going after them. But this wasn't really a joke coming from her. This was just a statement from the dry old cow. But I won't begrudge anyone making a joke. I mean, I'll make some horrendous jokes. It's like on the show we have here in Australia, there was a transgender person who made a pretty derogatory joke about Jesus on there the other week. You may have seen that in the news. I'm not going to repeat it here. But it was funny. I found it hilarious. And I don't think it hurt anyone. If you got butthurt over it, get over yourself. You're acting like the left does. I mean, we're supposed to be better than them. You can't sit there and complain that someone made a joke when we do that and they do the same thing to us. You know, if we make a joke about something like anything to do with the alphabet mafia or anything to do with any sort of minority, and they're up in arms about it. So we get to make the jokes. They get to make jokes. It's how it should be with freedom of speech. But I don't think this was a joke. It was more of a statement from Jane Fonda. And we'll just take a look at this story here from Tim Carr, shall we? We have experienced many decades now of having agency over our body, of being able to determine when and how many children to have, the actress said during a notable roundtable discussion with the fellow actress Lily Tomlin. We also know what it feels like. We know what has been done for our lives. We're not going back. I don't care what the laws are, Fonda said. As the audience erupted in applause, the View co-host Sunny Hostin praised Fonda's comments, suggesting that the actress would receive a Nobel Prize. Besides marching and protesting, what else do you suggest? Fellow co-host Joy Behar asked the actress, well, Fonda hesitated for a moment before proposing murder. What did you say? Tomlin asked Fonda, in which the actress reiterated, murder. She's kidding, Behar interjected as the audience erupted in laughter. She's just kidding. Don't say that, Tomlin responded. Fonda shot Behar a wary look, seemingly in response for her insistence the actress was kidding. Let's move on and talk about Jane's activism, which is legendary, Hostin somewhat nervously suggested. Last summer's overturning of Roe v. Wade, Fonda, who had been involved in activism throughout her career, referred to a Supreme Court decision as sickened, hoping women would mobilize in response. I am sickened, really. The United States, America, has joined with backward countries who still have these almost medieval views of the role of women. Fonda told Le Monde at the time, it's beyond shocking, it's unbelievable. I am hoping it will mobilise women to vote this November. I'm hoping it will galvanise the progressive people to vote because that's what's at stake. The actress continued, but the Supreme Court has lost credibility. It has become a right-wing swamp, a swamp. Fonda continued criticising men and patriarchy. It's patriarchy in general that's at fault. Evolution shows that that we are the ones who ensure the survival of the species. We are the ones that adapt to change. It's hard for men to change. We change all the time. When our husband gets a new job, we have to change. When our children leave home and go to college, we have to change. Women who are always having to change, and it's so easy for us. Neither The View nor ABC have publicly addressed Fonda's comments as of Friday afternoon. Now, what the hell is she complaining about? Patriarchy? Did she get up to the top of her game being Jane Fonda because the patriarchy was holding her back? And that literally a whole show that she is currently on saying these comments and stuff. She's literally on a show that is run by women, like a whole bunch of very successful women. Look at Oprah, for God. She's not on that show, but look at Oprah. Look how successful Oprah is. Is that because of the patriarchy was holding her back in all these years? And no, it's bullshit. Now, wherever you sit on the Roe v. Wade, I think that you should be allowed to go and get an abortion for whatever reasons you really need them. Pretty much get it as soon as possible. Don't leave it till it's like 3, 4, 6 months, 9 months like people are. That's what is like, unless it's gonna kill you, don't leave it till it's 9 months old, for God's sakes. But people are aborting 9-month-old fetuses or babies at that point. Don't use it as a contraceptive. I mean, if you find out that the baby's going to be severely disabled and whatever, yeah, okay, I get it. I completely get it. Or if it's a baby of incest or rape, yes, I completely get it. Nothing wrong with that. Have you ever met a child? Children are terrible. Like, why do we need to have them? Like, can we just, like, Amazon Prime them, get them delivered when they're, like, 12 years old? Oh, no, that's a pizza place. The Clintons know all about that. Never mind. When they're, like, 12 and you can, like, play Xbox with them or something. Because, like, screaming, whining, shitting babies, like, grab the fucking coat hanger. Anyway, see, we're allowed to make terrible, bad taste jokes and no one gets offended. Jane Fonda, no one is holding her back, but she's saying that the whole world is patriarchy and that she needs the rights to be able to abort her baby. Newsflash, love, no one's going to knock you up. I don't think we have the medical technology to make her pregnant. Not that you'd want anything coming out of that woman. The only thing I can see coming out of that woman is like the alien out of Aliens bursting out of her chest, and maybe it looks like Hillary Clinton or something like that. That's the only kind of thing I can see happening. Why is it all these old, like, rich women coming out saying that they're so oppressed and they're held down and marginalised? It's kind of funny, but wherever you land on the whole Roe v. Wade thing shouldn't really matter. If you're pro-life or you're pro-abortion, it's up to you. It's Americans, you guys get to vote on it. It's up to you. State by state, now you get to vote on it. So her coming out and complaining about it like it's taken away some of her rights is kind of hilarious anyway. But we'll just take a quick look at the short video here from the actual in question. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to get a copyright strike on the this content or not, so we'll see how it goes, shall we?
We're not going back. I don't care what the laws are. We're not going back.
I think the women will rise up.
That's the activist.
That's Jane
speaking, and she probably will get a Nobel Prize.
But it's the truth.
Very soon.
It is the truth. We're not going to do it.
Besides marching and protesting, what else do you suggest?
Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a miraculous. What did you say?
Murder.
She's kidding. Wait a second. She's just kidding.
Don't say that. That's
you don't know. They'll pick up on that and just run with it.
The worst.
She's just kidding.
Well, let me talk to you about.
Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think anyone on that show is capable of getting pregnant. But if they were, I think we'd all agree that it should probably be aborted. Do you really want something that terribly haggard reproducing? No, I don't think so. And anyone who's up to giving it to them, I'm sorry for the way you were raised. Like, what happened to you? But that seems to be the way it goes. The left are allowed to say they're going to go and kill anyone on the right and get away with it. Now, if someone on the right had said that even as a joke, we would never hear the end of it, and it would be in the news cycle 24/7. But the mainstream media just ignores it because one of their, I suppose, old cronies says it, and says it in line with their beliefs, so they're allowed to get away with it. I don't think it's that harmful anyway. I'm sure people can just ignore it, and she's probably doesn't have long left. I mean, how many vaccines have she had lately? You never know. She could just end up being a pile of dust in a few years, or even if just a strong wind blows on her anyway, she'll be gone. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. We're going to take a look at the January 6th footage that Tucker Carlson has released and the backlash he's copping from it right now. They have gone for the throat. They've gone after him viciously and quickly for releasing this footage that everyone was begging for and hoping for to come out of the January 6th Capitol riot. Now, the footage shows that the QAnon shaman, for one, has pretty much been vindicated, showing that he was escorted around the Capitol by police, let into certain rooms by police, and no one tried to arrest him the entire time. He was peaceful. He even prayed with the police officers and said, "Thank you for letting us into the Capitol building." Now, why would any of the police officers let them in? I wonder. You've got FBI informants working in there, dragging people into the building, helping people get in. Anyone ever know what happened with Ray Epps? Will we ever find out? But Tucker has been attacked viciously over these videos of January 6th, and he's reporting on it. And he's kind of gone radio silent over the last couple of days, having really copped it from everyone in the media, and even the Democrats were attacking him over it just for pointing out the truth and pointing out the hypocrisy of the whole situation. But we'll get into this story here from news.com.au. January 6 footage shows Capitol cops escorting QAnon shaman to the Senate floor. Newly reveals footage from January 6, 2021 shows 2 Capitol police officers escorting Jacob Chansley, that's the QAnon shaman, who has come to symbolise the riot through the halls of the Capitol and to the very door of the US Senate. The footage aired on Tucker Carlson's Fox News show Monday night shows the officers closely following Chansley as he wandered the corridors of the Capitol, bare-chested and wearing face paint with a Luxon fur hat and Viking horns. I mean, how do you go to a riot? If I was going to a riot, I'd probably wear the same thing, or a protest or anything like that. I mean, besides the face paint, the whole aesthetic looks fantastic. I mean, if you're going to be a shaman, at least portray that in what you're wearing. And this guy does it really, really well. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape, says Carlson, who was granted exclusive access by Speaker Kevin McCarthy to 40,000 hours of the surveillance footage from that day inside the Capitol and around the Capitol, which has never been seen before by the public. The tapes show Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. At one point, the officer was seen walking Chansley past 7 other police officers milling around outside the Senate chamber, who barely give him a second look. Then they even escort him to various entrances of the chamber, which appear to be locked. Eventually, they help him to a door and open a door, and he enters the chamber. Chansley, a 33-year-old naval veteran from Arizona, has been jailed for almost 4 years for obstructing an official proceeding. You see some of the photos there. If that's not enough police officers to arrest someone, I don't know how many you're going to need. That's ridiculous. You can see him escorting him around there. We'll watch some of the footage after this. In a jailhouse interview played by Carlson, says that one of the very serious regret that I have is believing that when we were waved in by police officers that it was acceptable. In a statement, the Capitol Police suggests that one of the officers with Chansley was trying to de-escalate the situation because he was outnumbered. But that does not explain why Chansley, who was unarmed, was able to walk past 7 more police officers without being apprehended. Not one of them even tried to slow him down, said Carlson. He understood that the Capitol Police were his allies. If he was in the act of committing such a grave crime, why did the officers standing right next to him place him under arrest? And yet, in the narrative formed on that day by the Democrats and much of the media, Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in an outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow America's democracy, says Carlson. McCarthy, who has been criticised for releasing the footage of Carlson, who plans to air 5 stories based on the footage over 2 nights, which he says demolishes the Democratic narrative of January 6, as well as Chansley's story about Carlson will air the footage, and he says debunked the claim that the Capitol Police officer Brian Sicknick, who was apparently murdered by rioters. Other accusations against Republicans were promoted with a heavily partisan January 6th committee are shown in a strikingly different light with the footage to be aired by Carlson, including viral video of Senator Josh Hawley running away from rioters on the day, which appears to have been taken out of context. Other accusations against Republicans, which promoted heavily by partisan January 6th committee, are shown in strikingly different light footage to be aired. Claims of the Congressman Brian Loudermilk and Georgia guided insurrectionists around the Capitol helped them dispute the Senate proceedings. Contrast with the footage of him showing constitutes around the floor, around the next door Rayburn building in the previous evening. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection, says Carlson. In fact, it demolishes the claim, and that is exactly why the Democratic Party and its allies in the media stopped you from seeing it. By controlling the images you're allowed to view from January 6th, they controlled how the public understood that day. They could lie about what happened and they would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington. Democratic politicians such as Rep. Jamie Raskin have warned that Carlson poses a serious security risk and have accused Fox News host of being pro-Putin, pro-Orban, pro-autocrat and propagandist. There's thousands of hours of footage that are out there already, Raskin told MSNBC, but the reason all of it wasn't released is precisely because it lays out floor design, it lays out evacuation routes, it lays out where the vice president went, it lays out where the senior members of Congress were evacuated to, and so on. Carlson's team said this footage has been vetted by constitutional authorities to ensure it does not pose any security risk. The further point of the January 6th committee aired the footage of the evacuation routes of VP Mike Pence and Hawley. They have failed to stop the release of the footage last week. Rep. Adam Schiff criticised Carlson in a tweet saying, a weak man. Ooh, big strong words from Adam Schiff there. Now, we'll take a look at the some of the footage that Tucker's released and some of the story. I suggest you go out there, watch it on YouTube at least. Wrap your head around it a little bit. It kind of points out that it was not what the media made it out to be. And I don't know about you, but we already kind of had that idea anyway. They lie about everything else. Why wouldn't they lie about this January 6th? So we'll take a quick look at this short video here, and I suggest you guys go and watch the whole thing on Tucker Carlson on Fox News.
Conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th.
So you can see from that footage there that it's pretty damning to the media that they did blow this out of proportion and lie about this poor dude and exactly what happened on that day. Now, where do you guys think this is going to go? Do you think it's going to be a bit of a nothing burger and nothing's going to come of it like everything else seems to happen, like the Epstein client list and all that? Nothing ever really seems to come of it. Anytime we get a win, we always get nothing happens. It doesn't go anywhere. So is Tucker going to keep releasing all this footage? Is it going to vindicate a lot of the other people that are still stuck in prison to this day for 4 years? For not doing anything besides walking around a public building where they were ushered into by police. I mean, if you're rioting, smashing up the building and protesting and things like that, doing illegal activities, hurting people, whatever, yeah, you should have been arrested and charged for those things, but you can't be labelled a insurrectionist just because you walk around a building where police literally show you around the building and tell you that you're allowed to come in here. I don't see how that's going to work, how that's going to fly in court if this goes to court, if his lawyers get a hold of it and actually get him out, hopefully. But, yeah, where do you guys think this is going to go? What do you guys think's going to happen with this? I think they're just going to attack Tucker Carlson and leave him in a bloodied heap on the ground, basically, if they don't even just outright kill him. So I'm not surprised that any of this is true, but I'm surprised it's come out. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.